On the play, intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Intentional grounding, number 1. Intentional grounding, offense, number 15.
And welcome to Intentional Grounding, episode 2, 2024.
Is this?
Yeah, I already started recording.
Oh, hell yeah. All right.
Amazing.
Welcome in, everybody.
You
gonna cut that? Yeah, we'll cut that.
Huh?
No, I like the line. I like doing it
Yeah,
live.
we'll do it live. Welcome in, everybody. Intentional Grounding, Season 2, Episode 2. It's Binky, it's Alex, and it's Ricky, and we have a new contract hire host for a couple weeks. His name is Jackson. He's been with us before. And Jackson, why don't you give a shout out to people? 5-second relay of why they should listen.
Well, first, does contract imply that I'm getting paid?
Yes, we all getting paid.
Well,
that's
with our
great.
new sponsorship.
We'll talk about it later.
Sponsorship or just
Shout out. Yeah, shout out.
We can negotiate later. I'm excited to be back. We had a lot of fun last year, so
yeah,
looking forward to getting back into it.
Yeah, and what's the newsletter you write for again?
On the Prowl.
On the
It's
Prowl.
an NC State newsletter.
Let's go. How?
How for the Prowl.
That's right. Well, welcome in. We're excited you're here. We're excited because it's not football season yet, but it almost is, boys.
we're entering
Feels like
week
it.
0.
We got something going. It's almost week. Is it week 0?
Yeah, this is week 0.
Game week.
Okay.
There's only like 4. There are like 4 games.
Yeah, we got Ireland, or we got
Yeah,
Florida State.
there is-
Georgia
Who's
Tech.
Ireland playing? The
We got
Mid-South?
Ireland
We got
versus
Ireland
Florida State.
Yeah.
Spain.
I forgot they're
Hammer the Florida State money line.
Yeah. Who are they playing? Florida State for real.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
Okay, but it's in Ireland.
It is, yes.
Why are we doing that?
I'd
Y'all
say
know why we're doing that?
take the spread on that one.
We gotta grow the game, Alex.
Why Ireland? Are they like the ones that are like, hey, we need football now? Specifically college football.
Yeah, the college football poll is a little weird.
Yeah. It'd be cool if we were playing like a college.
Like
over
Notre
there
Dame would make sense.
that Notre Dame would.
Notre
make
Dame would
sense.
make
they were there
sense.
last
Yeah.
year.
Notre Dame
Oh,
and
yeah.
like Alabama. Because
Yeah.
Alabama would also make sense.
There's a lot of Irish Georgia Tech fans. I've heard.
That checks out.
Well, welcome in our agenda for today. We got weekly new updates with Binky. He's going to give us a rundown of what's going on. We got some cool stuff happening with some players, getting in the flow of the season, things like that. We got top 25 coming out, so we got our thoughts and predictions, reactions on that. And then we're going to talk about 3 different conferences. We're going to talk about, 2 conferences, the Big Ten and the ACC, and then we're going to talk about the Group of 5. We're going to give a preview of each, and then we'll do our tiers of Tier 1 being championship contenders, Tier 2 being people that could make the playoff, and Tier 3 who, some wild horses. They just exist.
Most
They just
improved.
exist. Most
Could
improved.
be most improved.
Yeah. Follow us on Spotify. We have a YouTube channel now and TikTok. So
Dude, your dogs are out for just the world to see right
yeah, I know my feet are banging,
It's
and I
kinda
trim my
wild.
toenails, so we're good.
Yeah, you should definitely click on the YouTube link and look at those.
That's gonna be our new thumbnail.
Link in
Our
the bio.
toenail. Our toenail.
It's a thumbnail toenail. That's good. That's good content. Oh man, I do have pretty feet. I've heard from everyone. But if we talk about what were we gonna say, Jackson? Oh, the winner, the giveaway. We did a giveaway this
now.
week.
Oh, yeah.
We will announce that at the end of the episode.
We had
I know.
new
I have.
episode.
You have it?
I already chose the winner. I do need to.
You chose, or you mean the computer random generator?
Yeah.
Well, yes, I randomly selected a name.
Yeah.
I didn't hand pick one.
Should we do a drum roll or like a?
I need to clarify what the name is,
Okay.
and I don't know where my phone is.
Just
Okay.
text me. Just text me.
I just said I don't know where my phone is.
Okay. We'll do this at the end of the video.
Will you? No, let's do it right now.
Okay,
let's
we'll
do it right now. Will you go to the Intentional Grounding Instagram
Yes, I will.
and then
live
just
stream it.
throw
Yeah.
me your phone. Just throw it
Okay.
across.
This is kind of tense.
Yeah,
We're doing it live.
we're doing it live. I'll edit this out. It'll be fine.
Can you hand that over?
Yeah.
All right. And our winner
The suspense.
for the
Please don't do
poster
that.
giveaway. Somebody tag him on. And the winner for the poster giveaway is Ben.Graham07.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Ben Smith.
Congrats, Ben.
Congrats.
That's my cousin.
Wow.
Oh, let's go.
Major
way.
dub.
Runs in the fam.
Not rigged.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you
Kansas State.
Kansas State.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. They're
Kansas
pretty good
State
this
kid.
year.
It's gonna
Okay.
be a good year.
Wait,
All
not
right.
negligence. What's it called when your family
Nepotism.
Nepotism, not
good call,
negligence.
Mickey.
Nepo baby.
Yeah.
Nepo baby. Let's go.
Well,
So-
congrats, Ben.
Ben Smith, you get a. I'm assuming Binky's saying Kansas State. So
Yeah, I think he originally wanted Tennessee because he didn't think that we'd be able to do Kansas State.
I can do whatever you
We
want.
could
That's
also
what I told
ask
him,
Ben
so-
what he
Whatever
wants.
We can
Yeah,
ask
we'll-
Ben.
we'll
Ben,
clarify.
We could ask that question.
Ben, our PR team will be reaching out to you now with updates.
Yes.
Mick.
Yeah. Michaela! She'll be in here soon. Yeah, congrats, Ben. That's awesome. Is that Manhattan, Kansas? That's where
It is
Kansas
in
is?
Manhattan.
It is Manhattan.
I've driven through
It's the
there.
Big Apple.
I've been to the mall there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's comparable to Manhattan, New York.
We'll
so-
announce this on Instagram as well. For a poll. Thank you everybody for entering.
Yes. And keep
Um,
your eyes out at the end of the episode for a new promotion that Pat's going to announce. So, awesome. With that, I'm going to pass over to you, Binky. We got some weekly news. You got 10 minutes.
I don't know if
You're on the clock.
we're gonna
Your
fill
time
10.
starts now.
Kind of a crazy week in college football. Not really. Only one
Binky, can you
One
talk in
big-
your mic, please?
only one big thing happened this week in college football.
Just
University of Texas is now out their 2 starting running backs for the year.
Wow.
So I think their third string running back is a true freshman who will be starting now this year. So keep an eye out on how that affects their offense. I don't foresee being too much of an issue, but something definitely to keep an eye on for the playoff and championship contention.
That is big. That's a big impact to their ceiling, I think.
I'm
First
kind of
concealed.
I'm kind of sad
What?
Yeah.
because last week I was so adamant about Texas being like the top of the top.
Wait, explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. Like, what happened? I don't understand.
Imagine you're about to go on vacation with your family.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Where are we going?
And we're going to the Bahamas, and
Wow.
you're riding on a little bike with your friend.
Okay.
And you're so excited to go to Bahamas. You're talking about it. Woohoo! Can't
Yeah.
wait to go to the Bahamas. You run over a rock.
Okay.
You flip off your bike.
My
You
bike.
break your arms, both your arms and both your legs, and you're no longer able to go to the Bahamas.
Is that what happened?
Okay.
No,
Wow.
I'm just
Is
explaining.
this a true story?
Oh,
Or
okay.
Happened to me last year.
is...
So yeah, they are injured, and their recovery time is going to be longer than the extent of the season. So that's what it
Wow.
means when you're out for the extent of the season. It's kind of like totaling your car. But
yeah.
anywho's,
For
yeah,
you adults
Texas
out
is
there.
down. I think it's just certainly something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
These next 3 things didn't necessarily happen this week, but I think
We just haven't
Oh.
touched on them.
are notable and have not been touched on. College football this year, there is a 26-year-old man suiting up for a university this year. 26-year-old college student, the name Cam McCormick, who is a tight end at University of Miami. He began his career at the University of Oregon in 2016.
Wow.
They were playing with leather helmets. back then,
Yes.
I think.
That's true. I forgot
Yes.
about that. Yeah.
I think Bobby Petrino was still the head coach at Arkansas around that time.
You got in trouble with the scandal?
Mm-hmm.
Or that's Rick Pitino. Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think actually it's yes.
No, Bobby Petrino.
Was
When
it
he
with
came
the
in with
swingers?
the press
for the
conference
players?
with the-
So
Yeah, it
yes,
doesn't matter.
So
Anyways,
offense,
there's
yeah.
a 26-year-old tight end playing college football this year. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Pretty wild. That's older than our producer Pat.
It
It's
is.
crazy.
Happy belated birthday, by
Yeah.
the way,
Pat just turned 22.
Oh, happy.
Crazy.
2
How
on the
many
field
times am I
things
gonna
this
count?
year.
That's tough.
Coaches will now be able to communicate through headset with one offensive player and one defensive player. I think most teams are going to use their quarterback, obviously, and then their middle linebacker as the signal callers or as the signal receivers through the headset. Or Mike, it's something that's been in the NFL
Yeah.
for a while. I think it's kind of long overdue.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how that kind of affects pace of play.
Yep.
Um,
I'm so excited for this. I'm excited to just look at quarterbacks in like a loud environment with like
squeezing their
squeezing their head. Yeah. just a bunch of surrender covers out there,
Mo
and then they
Bamba
still
just
call a
going
timeout,
crazy,
and
yeah.
they're like, I couldn't. Crazy.
And then also similar, there's now a 2-minute warning in college football this year. Rule taken from the NFL as well. 2-minute warning comes into play with 2 minutes left in the second quarter and 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This year, just like the NFL, just opportunity for big media to get more ad revenue. Honestly, is really what it kind of comes down to.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's it. That's all I have.
Wow.
Little news corner.
Wow, give it up for Binky.
Big time news.
The good news. Breaking news. One thing about that, though, I want to point out is
I'd love
if
your
we
feedback.
had the feedback there, it was a great segment. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you first off for doing that. But as far as the helmets and being able to like talk, isn't that exactly what Harbaugh got in trouble for? Was like if he had that technology, then he wouldn't have had to steal signs. So in theory, this rule would have just saved Harbaugh's career at Michigan.
Is Harbaugh innocent? Is that the question that we're asking on the spot?
I'm not.
Or do we say,
Judge or
or are we
jury.
saying it's not as big of a deal?
I'm saying they just changed the rule and it wouldn't have been that illegal. But whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily him being able to see signs. I think it was with the new mic communication. That has nothing to do with. I mean, it's gonna. I see what you're saying now. Actually, word
Yeah.
circle here. I
Yeah.
think I mean, it's gonna make it impossible for other teams to steal signs now because they're.
Yeah.
The offensive coordinator is able to go directly to the quarterback.
You've also
Yeah.
got this year iPads on the sidelines, so
Yeah.
rather than getting a player to try and recall what they saw on the field, you'll have replays on the sideline immediately that you can walk through.
Pretty
So
sweet.
maybe that undermines a little bit of that advantage as well.
Over under 150 iPads are broken on the sidelines this year across college football.
150?
Mm-hmm.
Well, over
Cross.
all of college football, like D1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many schools? There's 132 schools.
134 now.
134.
Yep, in D1.
Yeah.
I want to see a QB1 like spike it,
Yeah.
like throws
Or
the
a
pick
punter
six.
punt it.
That'd be
That
sick.
would be cool.
I mean, if there's an average of just 2 broken per team, then that's like 270.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good
And then
math.
across.
It's like
Over under, it doesn't matter. A lot. I think there's gonna be a lot
278.
of broken
Over
iPads
under
this
a
year.
lot.
Shout
I'll
out to
take
the
the
boss.
under.
Love it. Thanks, Binky. All right, let's jump into top 25 reactions that came out this week from the AP poll, which the AP stands for what, Jackson?
The Associated Press.
That's right. Shout out Associates Press, the non-sponsor, but we love them. So if we're talking about top 25 here, I'll go from 25 down. Actually, I'm going to start with others receiving votes because there's some names out there we're going to call out. Basically, at the last place on this list, they still received 1 vote. The Colorado Buffaloes, Deion's team, who I'm going to predict will probably be in the top 25 in the season. Another call out is Liberty, a good group of 5 school, and Nebraska, Wisconsin, Tulane, shout out Tulane, App State,
Greenwood.
Virginia Tech, Boise, Louisville, all received votes, but they did not make the top 25. So if we're looking at the top 25, breaking down from 25 down, we got at 25, we got Iowa, the Big Ten. 24, we got the NC State Wolfpack. 23, we got USC, that is a school in California. 22, we got Kansas. 21, we got Arizona. 20, we got Texas A&M. 19, we got Miami in Florida. 18, we got Kansas State. 17, Oklahoma State. 16, Oklahoma. That's funny. Tennessee at 15. Clemson at 14. A lot of orange. LSU at 13. 12 is Utah. 11 is Mizzou. So now we're in the top 10. Florida State. Then we got number 9 at Michigan. Number 8 Penn State. Number 7 Notre Dame. Number 6 Ole Miss. Top 5 teams are Alabama at 5. Texas at 4. Oregon at 3. Ohio State at 2. And the Georgia Bulldogs in the Southeast. So we got a lot of things in there, a lot of teams, a lot of good brands, which preseason polls, I'm always just like, how many brands can they just put on a website for people to click sometimes? Like,
That's why Notre Dame's in there.
honestly, I have
Yeah,
thoughts like
that's-
literally like,
yeah.
why the hell is Notre Dame at number 7? I think they just looked at their schedule and they're like, oh, they might be undefeated because it's not that hard of a schedule.
Notre Dame also just lost their starting left tackle, so
So Riley Leonard's gonna be broken.
that's not
Like,
great.
He's
Yeah.
gonna get.
Is what I've heard.
Yeah,
Their
Isn't he a
schedule-
lefty? Isn't Riley Leonard a lefty though?
He might be.
Look that up for us, Pat.
Okay.
Get on that.
Michaela.
Wait, Michaela.
Their schedule's a cakewalk.
Yeah, honestly, I think and honestly, I mean, they could go undefeated, and I think that they'd definitely make the playoff there, even if they lost one game.
Shut up.
I think if they lost one game, they'd get in. You don't
Yeah.
think so, Notre Dame?
I mean, with their schedule.
I thought you said.
and-
I thought you said if they go undefeated, I think they get it. And I was about to slap you in the face.
No,
You don't? You disagree with that?
No, I don't. I very much so agree.
I think it
Okay.
depends on where that team ranks if they lose too. If
That's
they
true.
lose a game, like if they lost to Florida State and Florida State makes it, I think they can make it.
They'll get in. They'll get in.
Jackson, do you disagree with any of these?
I am not super high on Clemson, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Where do you
We'll
think they
talk-
should be?
We'll talk about I think they should be outside of the top 20.
Okay.
We'll talk about the ACC in a little bit, but Cade Klubnik is not great at football.
He's cheap.
Wow.
Which is pretty important if you want to win football games, is actually being good at the sport. So
Yeah.
Saying that, do you
affects-
think Grayson McCall is good at football? Just so that viewers can understand.
tapping on the homerism already? I think he's pretty good at football.
Okay.
I think if
Yeah,
you turn on
just
the turn on the
checking.
tape, he's pretty good at football.
Yeah.
Oklahoma at 16 will probably not stay there very long because they have a buzzsaw of a schedule.
Yeah.
I think their over/under win total for the year is 7.5.
Okay.
So if you win 7 games or even 8 games, you're probably not in the top
Yeah.
25.
Is their coach on the hot seat?
Mr. Venables?
Yeah.
I don't think Mr. Venables is on the hot seat yet.
Okay.
I think he showed enough progress, but
Yeah.
if they have a tough year, maybe.
Riley is not left-handed.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Thank you, Michaela.
that's crazy. Fake news. Thanks, Michaela.
Also, no group of 5 teams.
Yeah,
in the
that's
top
really
25.
surprising.
Yeah, that is weird. Not one, and Iowa gets in.
I'm surprised they didn't
Dude,
just sneak in.
Can Iowa just be set on fire? I hate that university. Why are they always in the top 25?
You got to show some punters some respect.
Oh,
Well, because they
You
wave at the kids
just
at
don't
the
know good
hospital.
I do respect that.
They wave at the cancer.
This is a
kids.
pro kids podcast.
Yeah.
We will
You
say.
hate the cancer kids? That's
Oh.
crazy.
Right.
Insane.
Wow, that's a
Pivoting
crazy
over.
thing to say.
Yeah. dude.
Alex, I appreciate you asking me what my thoughts were on the top 25. Real quick shout out. I don't like Tennessee at 15. I think we should be lower. I think we.
Wait,
Our
low like you should be 16 back.
Yes,
Okay.
we should be a higher number numerically
Yes.
than 15. I mean, obviously, it's great to see the media backing the team thing will be good. I think there's a lot of, I wouldn't even say unknown, just a lot of things that have been unproven.
Right.
A lot of our secondary is very unproven, entirely new defensive back group and safety group. And a stud of a quarterback, but also he only played 1.5 games last year. So we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope that we can live up and honestly even creep into that top 10 by the end of the season. But I think 15 is very generous for the Tennessee Volunteers. Also, yeah, I'm just still pissed about Iowa even being in here. And Miami, dude. What is Miami? Jackson, I'm gonna let you talk.
Miami
We're
is.
probably gonna
that's an
disagree.
I
interesting one.
cannot stand Miami. They are given every resource in the world to be successful, and they haven't figured it out since the 90s.
Yeah.
Miami's the ultimate, like, this year it's going to be, do you believe in coaches or do you believe in players? Because Mario Cristobal is probably one of the worst in-game coaches in the
Yeah.
country.
Georgia
But they
Tech.
have,
Never forget.
Never forget.
never
Just take a
forget.
knee.
But they've got, I mean, arguably the most talented roster in the ACC.
Yeah.
So, like, what wins out?
Yeah.
I think the
That's very
top 10 outside of Notre Dame being in there, I think I would agree with that.
Who would you
Not that I love
put instead of
Tennessee.
Notre Dame?
I would shuffle. Oh man, that's a great question. I would probably take. I'd probably put Mizzou at 10
That's what I was thinking.
and just shuffle up from there.
I think you could take Mizzou or Utah and you could throw them in there.
Yeah,
honestly.
they're
Um,
interchangeable. I would say.
Yeah, but LSU is on the up. They lost Jaden Daniels.
They did lose.
Was he
Jaden.
Yeah.
good at football last year?
He was the Heisman.
Oh,
He was
that's
really
right.
good.
Yeah, he was good at football.
I was like Jackson, the Heisman. But yeah, I would. Arizona, Kansas are great, but who knows? There's so much coach move now. I would rather put. Honestly, I think I would be out. Iowa would be out. I would put in Louisville or Boise State because Boise won the Mountain West last year, and they are returning a lot of
Man, that's
a good
firepower.
pick.
Don't they have a 5-star quarterback?
Malachi Nelson.
Yeah, Malcolm
Yeah.
Nelson transferred from UCLA.
USC.
USC.
Yeah.
USC.
But this is, I think this is second year there. This is first year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyways, you could also, I mean, Washington. Yeah, I don't know. The preseason polls are interesting because I do think they're just a lot of clout. I think there's a lot of truth in the top 10 usually, and then after that, they're like, how many? It's like
How many people?
Yeah,
what
let's just
fan
see what
bases can
happens.
we piss off?
Yeah, let's see what happens. Who's gonna read this? Who's gonna click it? But I will say interesting. Miami number 19 first week matchup Florida. That'll be
That'll tell
That'll
a
be
lot
fun.
about both
Yeah.
teams.
That will.
that'll be great.
That's
And
going to be
then
a great litmus test.
Texas A&M first game Notre
Miami's
Dame.
schedule is ass.
A lot of these teams play each other too. And the crazy part, looking at the schedule this year, being like so anti like about all the conferences changing and all that last year, and just like talking, and now we have like what is it, October 12th, where it's like there's like 7 just insane programs
loaded
playing.
week.
That's
It's
a
like
cancel your plans kind of Saturday.
yeah, it's like
if there's
yeah,
a wedding
yeah.
on that day. Shame on you.
Yeah, it's like I was so mad about the Big Ten, the Pac-12 just going down, but now like the
You're
best
like
schools that
Oregon,
were
Ohio
in-
State.
Yeah, it's like oh they're playing this
that'll
week?
work.
That's insane.
That'll do.
That'll play.
I don't have to watch like Oregon State, Washington State play. Shout out to Pac-2. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. But thanks, Binky. Thanks for that.
You're welcome, man.
Ole Miss, LSU, Penn State, USC,
Yeah. Is this week? Is this October 12th?
Florida, Tennessee. Wow.
Cool.
Texas, Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
That's a.
Red River Showdown.
That'll be awesome.
That's kind of. I'm so excited to go to the Tennessee Florida game, but also the downside is I'm not going to get to watch this game.
Yeah,
So-
honestly, you should just go and like tailgate with. Is your family an RV tailgate family? Is that a thing at Tennessee?
I mean, there's. I'm sure there's some people. No, we.
The big NC State thing.
We love our RVs
They
a lot.
want to drink.
Give
and
me
then
the
just
largest
go to sleep.
vehicle on wheels that I can hold.
They're like, how can we drink a lot at the game, go into the game, and then just be in bed immediately?
Yeah, I know.
That's-
150-foot RV.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
And I'll put a TV outside. And
Yeah,
that's
70-inch.
yeah.
We'll host like 50 people.
Dude, the craziest part about we can go into that when we go to these, the craziest part about NC State games is that people just leave at halftime to go drink again.
Yeah,
It's like the weirdest tradition
it is so odd.
in they
You just
used-
got it. What? You just get a little stamp or like a
Well,
wristband.
The pass outs.
I think it's because you used to not be able to purchase alcohol in college stadiums until like 5 years ago, which I forgot was like when we were in college. I didn't really like drink beer yet, and so I was like, I mean, I definitely did, but like I didn't really.
Of course.
so-
Do
Naturally.
you burn?
yeah. No, I mean, I was like cool and stuff, but like
You just say, "Do you burn?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear I
I
burn.
swear I burn.
I swear I
I
drink
burn.
beer.
But yeah, that is kind of crazy because so I think that's why it started because they would leave at halftime.
Yep.
And be like, I can come back in, and now just all the old heads.
Yeah, they got their tradition in place.
They're
They're going.
just like, we got to get back to the RV, honey.
Yeah.
Like we got to get out there. Wolfpack are losing.
Wonder what else is going on.
All right.
Is that a good
Alright,
segue?
yeah,
into
we'll shift over.
Speaking of RVs
Speaking
at
of-
halftime,
Let's do the Big Ten first because it's boring. Binky, you want or Pat? Who's doing
the
the
Big Ten is boring.
Big Ten's
you
boring.
really
We've got hot takes.
You really got me there.
Cooking.
Loading.
Who's
Big
up on
Ten,
Big Ten?
Big
We're
Ten
gonna do our tiers. We're gonna do our tiers like we did last week.
is
Yeah.
genuinely boring.
Yeah.
I think we got 4 new teams
Yeah.
coming into the Big Ten this year.
Yep.
Coming from the Pac-12, Washington, UCLA, Oregon, and that school out in California.
Right. Southern Cal.
UC Santa Barbara.
I personally, I don't think it makes the Big Ten much better than they were before. I think the Oregon ad is great. But
Yeah.
besides that, Washington and UCLA they're not dead programs, but they're just not gonna be good for a while, especially with the top heavy talent that
Well, Washington got Arizona's old coach, didn't they? Or
They
is that
did.
real?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Fish.
And they
Fish.
played in the Played in the playoff last year.
Yeah, they're in the championship.
Yeah, national champion.
Really, they're
Yep.
good.
Well, they don't have. I mean, they
Were
lost.
they ranked? Were they even ranked?
They were on the list of like others.
Okay.
Yeah, they could be.
I feel like as a program, they're in a relatively decent spot, but
Yeah,
definitely
they're
a
fine.
down year is
It's gonna
on the
be-
way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Their-
many holes to fill.
Their quarterback this year, Will Rogers, was I think first or second in passing yards in the SEC 2 years ago under Mike Leach, and after Mike Leach passed away, may he rest in peace.
The Pirate, just the RIP.
Swing your sword. He Will Rogers is now at Washington State, so it's gonna be interesting to see a translation from air raid SEC football over into the Big Ten. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Wills, Will Howard is now at Ohio State. So
Pretty well.
I think another question to add to one of those top teams is: does Ohio State finally have a competent quarterback? Is it different than previous years? Can they be dominant in that category?
What I like about Will Howard going to Ohio State is the fact that Chip Kelly's there, and he loves to read and run his quarterback. And Will Howard's not like an awesome athlete, but he's capable enough to run.
yeah, he makes sense.
I think that opens up a good bit for their offense, and Ohio State's wide receiver room is probably the best in the country
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that tends to help.
Oh yeah,
Should we tier out our Big Ten, Pat?
yeah. Let's go ahead and tier out. So again, just like last week, we're gonna tier we're gonna tier each conference into three different divisions, I guess you would say.
Three tiers.
So top tier is a lock. You are a lock for the playoffs, correct? Is that
Yes,
you are a lock for the playoffs?
and have a chance at actually
Contending for the
contending
championship.
the national.
Second tier is you are either a fringe playoff team or
You'll
you'll probably
make the
make
playoffs,
it.
but not gonna be in there.
You'll be like a higher seed.
Yeah.
And then tier 3 is our teams that can be competitive, could maybe have a shot, but it's probably just not going to be their year.
Unless you have a TCU miracle season.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
2022.
So for my tier 1 for the Big 12, I've got Ohio
Big Ten,
State.
Big Ten.
Sorry, Big 10. My apologies. I've got Ohio State and Oregon. I have both of them. I think they're both locks. I think they can both contend for a championship. Ohio State is so deep. They're always so good. They're always sitting at the top spot. And then Oregon this year with Dylan Gabriel, I think they're gonna be a top 5.
They're
I
going to
think
score
he's
so many points.
He's the Heisman frontrunner right now.
He is,
Dylan Gabriel.
and I wouldn't be shocked if Oregon won the Big 10 this year over Ohio State.
Is that game?
It's in Eugene.
But it is in Eugene.
Mm-hmm. Ohio State, Oregon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be.
in Eugene.
Oh my God, that's week 12
That's
too.
a
Or that's
big-
the October 12th date that we were
Week
talking about
7.
earlier. Yeah,
Big
that's
game.
gonna be
That's
insane.
gonna be one of the biggest games of the year.
Might be the biggest.
Ohio State, Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, Eugene.
Yeah, Ohio State versus Eugene versus the town of Eugene.
My second tier, I'm gonna just put in Penn State. Just Penn State.
No Michigan.
No Michigan. I
Interesting.
think Michigan. They're not frauds, but they're not gonna be in the same position that they were last year. Can Donovan Edwards keep them in the race? Maybe, but I do think they are gonna try to be competing for a top 15 spot. I think also when it's all said and done, I think they may not even be in the top 25. And if you look at it, previous years, I believe a team that has started the AP poll in the
Is Athletic Brewing a sponsor of the show?
Shout out to Athletic Brewing. Do you like beers, but sometimes you're like, man, I wish this didn't have alcohol? You can get Athletic Brewing. They have great flavors like Mexican style copper, hazy IPA, and everything under the sun. So when you're at the tailgate this season, crack an Athletic. Be athletic.
Athletic Brewing is not a paid partner of the Digital Grounding Podcast LLC.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
my
Okay, so you think there's a world? You think there's a world
I think
where
that-
Michigan is not in the top.
Not in the
25.
top 25 to end the season. And if you look at previous years, I believe the stat is there has been one top 10 team in the first AP poll that is unranked at the end of the season. And I think that will be Michigan.
Ooh,
I think I
there's a
look
good
at
chance.
I think I look at the other teams, and I'm pretty confident that at least over half of them will be in the playoffs. I would say maybe 6 out of the 7 top 10 teams will probably just be in the playoffs. I don't think we'll see a lot of switch ups there. But for my third tier, I do have Michigan, I have USC, and I have Iowa. And I know you don't like the Iowa take, but they always stay in it. They're always there every year.
Got one top 5 defense in the country.
Yeah,
They're just there.
Even though
they're always just
I also,
sitting.
yeah, I think the big Iowa is going to shock some of those Pac-12 schools that come in with just their physicality and their defense. So it's just going to they're still going to win games and be good. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished in the top 25 at the end of the season either.
they did get rid of their offensive coordinator, got rid of the nepotism going on there, and
If they could just pass the ball more than the service academy schools style,
they're in good shape.
they're in great shape.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Iowa's real scary game is at Ohio State on October 5th, and every other game on their schedule looks manageable. Their other scary road games, air quotes, are Maryland, UCLA, Michigan State.
Do we still have
We're good.
divisions this year?
We do not.
Okay.
No divisions.
They
The
go-
Sun Belt is the only conference with divisions in football now.
Nice.
Fun fact.
The Fun Belt.
Oh, wow. So the SEC will just be
Divisionless.
top 2 spots.
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
But yeah, what else? Big Ten wise, we got as far as
Do you have any teams to keep an eye
Previews.
out? It's all right if not.
yeah.
I mean, maybe Iowa.
Alright.
I know I just spoke on them, but again, I think
We love Iowa here.
you look at the other top teams in the Big Ten, and they
Yeah.
have more competitive schedules.
Yeah.
So I think you could see maybe an Oregon with. I'm not saying this would happen, but you can maybe see an Oregon with 2 losses, or you could see a Penn State with 2 losses. But then this Iowa team could slip in with an 11-1 schedule.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's true.
I like Iowa. I like the defensive mindset of teams,
Yeah.
and I just don't think Big Ten football is enjoyable anyways. So
No. Maybe the Pac-12 kind of
helps
is-
that. Yeah, maybe Oregon honestly kind of helps
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Oregon at Penn State,
Can you imagine if over 100 points were scored, Ohio State, Oregon? That would be insane.
I mean that. Yeah.
But
Very
it's
good
not.
chance.
That's
Yeah.
not Big Ten football though. That's
Mhm.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oregon is not your typical Big Ten team. That's for sure.
yeah.
I honestly, I
The history of Big Ten, Oregon is just
Yeah, when I think
yeah.
of Big Ten, I think of
Oregon
USC.
versus
We're gonna
Oregon.
get USC at
10
Rutgers, I
p.m.
think, this
Eastern
year,
time.
something like
Yeah.
that. Like that.
Yes.
I might have
Again,
to. I
makes
might
no
have to
sense.
drive up to Piscataway.
yeah.
That
that
game's
one,
gonna feed
that's-
families.
Yeah.
I think of Illinois and Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
The town of Piscataway. Okay, I like it, Pat. I think some agreements, some disagreements here.
yeah.
My tier 1 Big Ten teams are the exact same.
Okay.
Ohio State, and Oregon. Ohio State, I think, is going to have the best defense in the country this year.
Yeah.
And I think, Kyle McCord, who was a quarterback last year at Ohio State, caught a ton of crap, but he actually put up really good numbers. I think he threw for over 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. So,
I think they're going to be good.
very good, but, you throw 2 game-changing interceptions against Michigan, that's enough to get you out of Columbus. So,
Margin for error is 0
yes,
over there.
I
for
think
sure.
this is the year that Ohio State beats Michigan.
I
I think-
absolutely
I think
agree.
this is the year. One team sorry, I know you're going through your tiers, but one team I think is on a tier 3 spot. I'm not going to give all my tiers because Big Ten's so boring, but I as far as tier 3 sleepers, Nebraska.
I'm so excited to watch.
I'm
Nebraska this
pretty
year.
high on Nebraska this season. I know that I shouldn't like Matt Rule because of what he did to the Panthers, the professional team here in Charlotte.
That was Tepper's fault.
That was Tepper's fault, I think. But also, he's a college quarterback or college coach that can really change a program. If you look at Temple and Baylor, it's that 3rd year. usually when he starts to turn around. So if he doesn't, Nebraska just might be a poverty franchise if not. But it's just as far as this year goes, I'm excited to watch them. They have a scary game versus Colorado rematch. Colorado kind of has their number.
That's not scary.
But we'll see what happens there.
Ooh,
It was a good game.
It was a great game. Yeah. But now they have
That's why it's not scary.
it's because they
I
both have
have a
gotten
question.
better and Colorado won.
Can I go back to my segment that was interrupted?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please?
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. So,
Actually, I have something to add to a different segment. Can I go next?
yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? I don't even want to talk anymore.
Yeah.
Ohio State, yeah, they're loaded. I think bringing in Will Howard from Kansas State. You look at a guy like Will Howard last year, who was very talented. Jackson touched on it. He's a guy who's able to extend plays. He's not the guy with freaky speed, but
Yeah.
he was carrying the team. He had to do everything for Kansas State last year, and I think he's in a very, very cushy spot at Ohio State. Just working with Chip Kelly, their new offensive coordinator, and just
Yeah.
having all that talent around him, it's going to make his life much easier.
Way easier.
So, yeah, I think Ohio State is tier 1 Big Ten team, and I'm almost certain we'll see them in that Final Four of the college football playoff. Another team in my tier 1 is Oregon.
Okay.
For all the same reasons as Pat. Dylan Gabriel transferred over from Oklahoma, leading the Heisman odds right now. They've got a lot of speed. Dan Lanning is a SEC disciple, and he's implementing a lot of. He's recruited very well so far, with a heavy focus on the offensive and defensive lines, which is the most important thing to win football games.
It's worth one.
Especially coming over to a very physical conference in the Big Ten. So I think they're going to keep on rolling. Only thing I could see that is a hindrance for University of Oregon, honestly, is their travel schedule. Flying East Coast to West Coast so often throughout the year. How much would that potentially come into play,
Yeah.
fatigue-wise?
You think they use miles?
Are
or
you
just, like,
breathing
points? Or, like-
hard into your mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, it's you. Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. Well, YouTube won't. I'm all about the YouTube. They won't figure it out. But as far as sorry,
Those are my tier 1 teams. Tier 2, I have Penn State and Michigan. There's obviously going to be a fall off, a little bit of a hangover for Michigan this year, losing their head coach, losing their starting quarterback, and a couple defensive pieces. But at the end of the day, I was looking at something yesterday. Michigan still has, I think, 2 players in the predicted top 10 overall players in college football. Both of those guys are on the defensive side of the ball. So I think your defense is going to not lose any pace, not lose any step. The big question really is just who's going to be their starting quarterback, and how can Jerome Moore handle the keys to the car now. So
Good metaphor.
could be something to keep an eye on with Michigan. But Penn State, surefire. I think they have a great chance of making the playoff now that it has been expanded, because they've just been held down by Ohio State and Michigan for pretty much ever since we've been alive.
Yeah.
To be honest. So Penn State and Michigan in my tier 2, and then my tier 3 teams: Nebraska, USC, and Iowa, unfortunately, as well. Nebraska is a very exciting team this year. They played pretty well. They played in some very close games last year, just couldn't finish the job. They also were changing quarterbacks a lot last year, so now they finally got Dylan Raiola, who is pretty sure the number 1 quarterback in the country in last year's recruiting cycle. He was a University of Georgia commit, and last second flipped to University of Nebraska.
Wow.
So he's very good. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they're able to do this year. I can't slot them any higher than a tier 3, because I just don't think there's much of a chance for them.
They do have a really soft schedule to start. I'm not afraid of Colorado at home. Like, that doesn't really bother me that much.
You don't play them, did you?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair response. But they could be 7-0 and they go into Ohio State on October 26th. That's tough, but
Yeah.
that's a good way to start with a freshman quarterback. Maybe
For
plays
sure.
there.
Yeah.
Good point. So
That's the Big Ten.
That's my Big Ten tier. And also, I vehemently disagree with y'all's takes of the Big Ten is boring.
I think it's interesting.
wild.
It's
Really?
interesting. We don't live anywhere near these schools, and so as a fan, I like watching them. But I'm tired of watching a product that is like a 7 to 10 like game. Like
on average, yes, that is par for
Yeah.
the Big Ten. But with teams, I think Oregon and Ohio State are going to be obviously the big headlines this year.
one question for Big Ten, then we're gonna go to the ACC. Are we gonna get still some cool time zone games? Like, are we still like I know like when I think of Pac-12, I used to think of just like I'm home from whatever I was doing, or I'm back home in my dorm from watching a game like all day, watching football, and then 10 p.m. I'm watching either the Mountain West or the Pac-12. Like,
Go after dark.
are we still gonna get some like Big Ten after dark games?
I
Like,
mean, I would like coming home after a long day at the stadium, Nebraska at UCLA.
Yeah,
That's a game I'm
yeah,
watching.
that is pretty
I'm
interesting.
watching.
I'm
Actually,
flipping that on.
yeah, maybe the Big Ten's not boring. Maybe we judge the book by the back of the cover. So
Might be us.
Yeah.
We might be the boring
we
ones.
might be the boring
Yeah.
ones actually.
It's not you,
'cause
it's me.
no one really likes the ACC
We should-
football,
we
but
should
that's a good
reflect.
segue into
Yeah.
the ACC.
Which is now called the All Coast Conference.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Working on a little rebrand.
Yeah, don't we have University of California playing in the
Yeah.
Atlantic Coast Conference?
Yeah.
If you think of the ACC when you think of Stanford, then you are probably a sicko, but you would be right.
Private
Starting this
schools,
year.
baby.
Also, SMU,
yeah.
Wild.
the Mustangs.
Where would you have put SMU? We'll get the AC 1 second. Where would y'all put SMU?
Big 12.
Big 12.
If they were, if they needed to join.
I think they deserve a big.
I'd rather have
conference.
SMU
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's
than
true.
SMU would be competitive in the Big 12.
Yeah.
And it'd be like you've got so many natural rivalries there.
Yeah. That's true. That would make more
I
sense.
guess that's football wise. I would rather have Houston for basketball.
Yeah.
I
That's
guess
true.
if you think about it.
Yeah. Houston ACC. Would
Then
be
again,
cool
I feel like all
together
those
Texas
conference
as well.
realignments are
Yeah.
made with thought of football.
It also. Did you see
Yeah.
their deal for SMU? They're taking no like money from
Yeah,
the
they
network. for the-
casually
4 years.
fundraised $100 million.
Yeah.
They're like, yep, we're cool with that.
They're like, yeah, we'll be in the ACC.
we don't need the money.
Don't pay us. It's
They're
crazy.
gonna be oil fields. We're good.
Yeah.
actually, on that.
We'll take it away, Jackson. Give us the ACC,
ACC.
preview, and then we'll do some
ACC,
tiering.
Got your resident ACC boy here.
Yeah.
Just in
go.
time for the preview. So we've talked a little bit about the new teams. We've got Stanford, we've got Cal, we've got SMU, and I don't think any of those teams will be seriously competing. Maybe SMU; they're in sort of my second tier in the ACC.
Okay.
But if we want to start with the first tier in the ACC, we are defining tier 1 as folks that are locks to make the playoffs. Is that right?
Championship contenders.
Championship
You think
contenders.
they can win it? They're locked.
So there are
Yeah.
0 teams
Okay.
that fit that criteria
Okay.
in the ACC.
I like that. I
Um,
like you didn't say NC State.
Nope. I'm taking off the NC State lid
That's
for
good.
today, at least.
good.
There are none of those teams. Like there's nobody from the ACC that has the talent, the foundation, the depth. I think to legitimately challenge for championship this year. I do think it's going to be a really interesting league. So
Mhm.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
through what I consider to be, I guess, my tier 1 for the ACC, but our tier 2,
Yeah.
which would be teams that could make the playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
there's
like that.
4 of them. If you look at FanDuel,
Okay.
we've got FSU
Yep.
at plus 290 to win the whole thing,
Okay.
to win the ACC. And then there's Clemson at plus 360, Miami
Okay.
at plus 400, and NC State at plus 600.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's a pretty, like,
So you can make some money if you put some money on NC State.
you certainly can.
If they ended up winning.
certainly will.
Yeah.
But this is a league
NC
that
State
is-
lid was back on. For about
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Pick that up.
It's like no bias. No bias.
Just there's a lot of bias. Just kidding. So.
But this is a wide open league. Every team, even in that third tier, I guess, if you want to call it BT, Louisville, and SMU, sort of those like maybe you mess around with the light schedule and make it in. You win the ACC championship, or
Yeah.
you go 10-2. Like all these teams have holes.
Right.
FSU is the favorite. They brought in DJ Uyunglele
Yeah.
from Oregon State,
Yeah.
and he is who he is. Like he's not going to be like a game-changing kind of quarterback.
He was in the ACC before that.
He
Wasn't
played at a small school in South Carolina called Clemson.
he? Yep.
Um,
They actually weren't good.
yeah, it's not that great there.
Yeah.
But he did get better at Oregon State, but I think you're probably seeing his ceiling right now.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of talent. They did really well in the transfer portal, and they are the favorite, but they've got a lot of holes to fill from last year on both sides of the ball. Speaking of that small school in South Carolina, Williamson, where Tyler from Spartanburg is. I talked about this.
Gosh, we need to pipe in that audio.
Yeah. Yeah.
I talked about Cade Klubnik. If you watch him play football, if you use like I don't know your television, and you watch him with your eyes,
Right.
He's a quarterback that does not look very good.
Yeah. On paper.
Yeah, right. He's got the recruiting pedigree, but he has not really shown it on the field, and I don't think that he will.
So he is good on paper, not on screen.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And really interesting nugget for y'all. Teams to not take transfers this year: Army,
Okay.
Navy, Air Force, Clemson, and the service academies. So I don't know what Dabo's doing down there, but we'll see. We'll see if it works.
Thank you for your service, now, bro.
Yeah, we appreciate you, dude. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out this year.
Yeah.
And then we've got Miami kind of sitting behind Clemson at plus 400. I think they have the most talented roster on paper. They, I think, spent the most in the portal and got Cam Ward, who is an absolute gamer from Washington State. He played at Sacred Heart, I think it was in the FCS before Washington State. And he's got loads and loads of accolades.
Yeah.
Mario Cristobal might be the worst in-game coach in the league. I talked about the Georgia Tech fiasco last year.
For those that don't remember, look up Georgia Tech Miami ending, and that'll show everything on YouTube.
Yeah, that'll be a really good watch. It was on TV.
Just turning on old games. On
Yeah,
TV.
it was on ESPNU. I was like, let's watch Mario Cristobal literally cost them.
Yeah.
Cool. So can their talent overcome poor coaching?
Yeah.
And then NC State.
Yeah.
They were terrible on offense last year and pretty much added somebody important at every single position on their roster.
Yeah.
I think the question there is like, does that all work together? Does Grayson McCall bounce back from a really nasty head injury last year? That was pretty scary.
Yeah.
And then on defense, they're going to be good, but you're losing the best defensive player maybe in the country last year in Peyton Wilson.
True.
And that's going to be really hard. So I think this is a really compelling league because all four of those teams are not perfect, but all of them can challenge.
Yeah. I would disagree with. I would put Miami as a tier 1. I think they can win it all, championship wise.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty high on Miami this year. As far as tier 2s go, I have NC State, Florida State, Clemson, and then I'm gonna put SMU as someone that could be a surprise because they had a really good record last year and a lot of good production, a lot of money as well, so they can fund their program. Tier 3, ones that can shock the league, Duke is one that sticks out to me. I think that they are vastly. I mean, they did get picked apart last year, but they're projected. Somebody projected them to go 1-7, and I was like, that's outlandish. I think they can make a bowl game easily. Like they got some good. Their quarterback, who is it?
Malik Murphy.
Malik Murphy. He didn't play that much.
He's good.
He's good though. He's from Texas, and
He was battling with Quinn Ewers in the preseason last year.
Yes.
For that QB1 spot.
Yeah, I could see that. I would not be surprised if they won 6 games. I would not be surprised if they won 7. I'd be shocked if they won 8, but I could see them making some noise, being a surprise team. They lost
head coach.
First year head coach, but he's been a head coach before.
New head coach.
New head coach. He was at Miami, and just that might be the Miami. I think the ACC really wants Miami to be good. I think this is the year that might happen, but they just have not been good since they left the Big East. Honestly, like they've had a couple of good seasons, but
I am a hard disagree on that Duke pick.
Okay,
I respect your.
That's
opinion.
fine.
That's the beauty of America.
That's the beauty.
Is that you can get on here and share bad takes.
That's right.
And not get your head cut off for it.
No, but tier 3, I think there are some interesting teams alongside the Duke pick that Alex had there. We talked a little bit about SMU. We know that group of 5 teams that jump to a power league tend to struggle in year 1, but SMU has more done in the portal.
Yeah.
So I think they're definitely somebody with a lighter schedule that can maybe jump in.
And those Dallas uniforms are just
they are sick.
fire, dude.
They're
They're so
so good.
good. So
And that
good,
does
really good.
actually translate to on-field
It
performance.
does, yeah.
Yes.
That's how
Look
Colorado
good.
won 4 games. They just looked icy.
Look good, feel good.
Um,
Feel good, play good.
Crazy thing is, you got so many frat boys talking about those jerseys. Like, jerseys they're gonna come out with today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
if you're
come
above
on.
the age of 25
Yeah.
and you're still wearing college football jerseys, get a life.
Yeah, dude,
You know.
for real. especially if you didn't go there.
Yeah, like
Uh,
if you didn't go
yeah.
there, you're wearing like a group of 5
Yeah.
jersey just because the colors are cool. You're a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So
Could not be me.
We've got SMU.
Yeah.
We've got Louisville in this tier as well.
Oh, yeah.
They were
We were in the
sneaky.
championship game
Yeah,
last year.
by the way, last year they snuck in there. They did just lose one of their top transfer portal additions to a broken collarbone. Wide receiver, I think it's Colin Lacey. And he is going to be out for 8 weeks, which is a bit of an issue.
Okay.
First few weeks. And then we got Virginia Tech, who everybody seems to love.
Virginia Tech's my Big Ten team of the ACC. I think they're so
The
boring.
Big Ten team of the ACC.
I think
team
they're
of the
so
year. Is
boring.
that-
They're just boring.
That confused me big time.
I think they're just boring.
Yeah,
That's what I was getting at.
That was
I'm tired of them.
They returned like 20 starters or something like that, but
That's
I don't
probably
know
good.
that all those starters are good.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
That is
Yeah.
kind of funny though. I totally forgot Louisville was in the ACC championship last year.
Yeah, they were good.
That was
That's
such a
pretty good.
nasty game because FSU was down to their third string quarterback. Like, can't remember.
That was the reason FSU probably didn't get in. That showing.
It was a gross game.
It was very gross, and Louisville almost pulled it out,
Yeah.
kind of like
I was hoping.
That would have been
Honestly.
awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly.
that'd been great because no FSU fans would be mad. But like, well, we lost to Louisville.
Mhm.
That makes sense. But,
Then they would have been like, "Well, we had our third string quarterback." Then.
Oh.
yeah, that's how they sound down there
Not stuff here.
in Tallahassee.
That is that Florida
yeah,
accent.
yeah. Well, we got the boy that runs fat, but
Oh, go god dang, we got to go there, boys and the corners.
I'm for the football stick.
oh, that's right.
Aye,
Any other ACC stuff before we move over to the sexiest group of 5?
I do have a NC State question for those
Okay.
of you listening. Jackson and I have a big matchup
Oh.
coming. Tennessee SEC plays an ACC team in NC State this year. It's going to be a top 25 matchup. With
Think
that
game
being
day?
said,
I think game day will be there.
Charlotte?
Could be. I haven't looked at week 2 matchups.
yeah, we'd have to
I-
take a look at the matchups. There's a lot of people from what I've read. I know there are some doubters on whether or not Grayson McCall is going to be able to get the job done in a proper manner at NC State this year. I think he will. My question though is, do you think that Grayson McCall as a starting quarterback at NC State is going to have it pulled together to be able to beat an SEC top 5, top 10 SEC defense in a neutral site field?
I am far less concerned about the offense against Tennessee than I am. I think everything that we've heard on him, that he looks like he did 2 years ago. He's got better weapons around him. He's got 2 NFL tackles and an NFL center on the offensive line, which helps.
Yeah.
Freshman All-American in KC.
Was
Tight
it
end,
Kevin Contraception?
Contraception.
Concepcion,
Yes, that is an
got it.
alternate
Yeah.
pronunciation
Got it.
of
Yeah.
his last name. Yes.
That's someone from Knoxville.
So I'm actually worried about Nico picking apart the defense for like 45-38 kind of game.
Yeah.
So Grayson's going to ball this year.
Yeah.
I think everything that we've seen.
I pray that their offense is good because if not, it's gonna. Everyone's gonna be so sad.
I mean, sad times, melancholy Raleigh.
Yeah, that's right.
Melancholy Raleigh.
That's right.
It's been that way for a little bit.
It
That's
sure
different.
has.
That's true.
I don't know that there's anything else really on the ACC front to dig into. There's some kind of
Carolina's
teams.
gonna suck.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. This is Max last season probably.
I did do a check. You most likely will not have game day.
Okay.
Who
What
thinks
are
they get
the
it?
week 2
We got-
matchups?
Texas, Michigan.
Yeah.
Well, that is sort of a big meaning.
Wait, who's
Yeah,
that play
a
that
little
week?
bit more meaningful than us. Top.
Who's
What?
that play that week? They might be there too.
I'm
Shut
sorry.
up.
App State. But awesome. Thanks, Jackson.
Dude, you're so welcome.
ACC preview. Shout out to the ACC, not a sponsor, but we love you. Going into Group of 5. So Group of 5, for people who don't listen to football podcasts or know anything about it, Group of 5 is the other conferences that are not
Outside
in
of
the
the
big
Power.
ones. They're smaller schools. We've still got some good teams. They can make some runs on stuff. So we got a couple list of folks of teams that could make the playoff. This year, one Group of 5 team will have an automatic berth. It's the top at-large ranked berth. And the way it works, I realized this week, is like they're going to be ranked. They're going to be the 5th. Like they won't be ranked 5th, but they'll be the 5th team in the playoff, which is kind of weird. Like
At
when
the
they
number
announce.
12 spot, unless they are in the
Unless-
top 10.
If they're in the
Top
top
12.
10, they might be in 11. It'd be shocking if they were 10. It will probably be 11, 12. But the top contenders for that spot, if you were betting, I don't have the odds. Boise State's probably number one. They won the Mountain West last year. I'm not bullish on them because they lost their coach. They brought in a good coach interim last year who took over the job, and he finished it at Mountain West. But the teams in the Mountain West are not that great. And Boise is a sexy name to throw out. They play on the blue field. That kills the birds. But if you're
What's up?
some birds think that the field is the ocean, so they nose dive into it.
Man.
So they break their
It is
necks.
sad.
You can look it up on YouTube, like and subscribe. But if we go to Memphis, that's my team that I think is actually going to make it. They were in the championship for the American Conference, which is basically like probably the premier Group of 5 conference still outside of the Sun Belt. Has the most funding, gets the best TV deals, gets the best athletes. Memphis is a good program. They've been looking for national contention. They're nasty. They lost to Tulane last year, and Tulane's rebuilding, so I don't have them on here. But Memphis is one who I would pick.
Memphis is my dynasty team in college football.
Are they fun? Are they fun to play with?
Their quarterback's great.
Yeah.
Running back Mario Anderson. Can't believe I know a football player from Memphis. Actually, Rock Taylor, wide receiver.
Yeah, they have
Uh,
sick uniforms too. That's what you're into.
They have like 15 different alternate uniforms in the game,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
They're all
There's,
just, like, tight and
minuscule
scratches.
changes.
Yeah.
I do have odds actually. Sorry, did you say 5 teams or?
I have Memphis is who I'm picking as a none of these are tier 1. I'm gonna go. I don't think anybody's can win the championship, but 2 who will make the tier 2 team. All these can make. So the tiers don't really apply here. If we're actually thinking about it. App State is on this list too. If they have big games at Clemson in week 2, so if they can show out, like not get blown out, I think that'll be great. If that's one of their only losses.
Keep it respectful.
Yeah, keep respectful if they win.
Man,
Which
shock the world while you're down there.
Yeah, I mean, if
You're
they
gonna make
win,
me try,
I mean,
go ahead and do it.
they've done it before. Joey Aguilar is our quarterback coming back, and last year he threw for over 3,000 yards. He's the chillest guy ever. He's a JUCO transfer from California. Really good. We have our really good offense. Everybody returned. Our defense is stellar. I think they'll be solid. I'm worried because we play Clemson, and then it goes to my next team, who is actually kind of a threat, is Liberty. They play September 28th at App, so I think that'll be a huge game. We might go to that one, actually. I think we're planning to. But Liberty, I would say, is also a shoe-in, or not shoe-in, but one that you could make the argument. What hurts them is they got blown out last year by Oregon when they got into year 6. But they have great coach and Jamie Chadwell. He was at Coastal for years when they were relevant. And then their quarterback, Caden Salter, who was at Tennessee. Actually.
He was.
Yeah. Then he got a little bit of trouble with
a lot of bit of trouble.
With
a lot of bit of trouble.
Just a little California sober extracurriculars. But
yes.
Great team. Good that he's at a Christian university now that he can get sober. But
college.
Going to from that, other ones that could make some noise. If you just really want to make some money, you can throw some money at Miami of Ohio because they've got a pretty easy schedule. And if all these teams eat each other up, that'd be hilarious if they got in. But go ahead, throw like $25 down.
25.
Yeah. Come on. That's our Group of 5 rundown.
I think that's our.
You want to know what the odds are?
Give us the odds.
Never tell me the odds.
So, according to ESPN Bet,
oh, wow.
The teams. So it doesn't necessarily show like what the odds are for that spot for the Group of 5, but it shows national championship odds.
Yeah.
Which this is kind of weird, but Boise State is the top runner.
Yeah.
They're at plus 40,000.
Okay.
And then you have JMU.
Are these to win or to take?
This is to win the national.
Okay, I was like,
no, but like that's what I'm saying. Take this with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Because
Hey, Leicester City did it in the Premier League about 7 years ago.
that's right.
The
And
world.
that was the same sport.
They had
so
the
it's
same
good
odds to
content
win the
info.
Premier League that Vanderbilt did. The
Football.
national
Yeah,
championship.
right. It translates over.
Transitive property.
Yeah.
so top 4, like guess what the odds? Boise State, JMU, Liberty, and Tulane.
Interesting. Tulane's rebuilding. I mean, that'd be awesome if they made
Our
it.
Green Wave.
Come on. Team to watch
Not a
in Group of
sponsor.
5. They're boring usually, and we've always blown them out. But I'm terrified of playing as Texas State. They've been rebuilding for years. They have Jordan McLeod from JMU, who was their quarterback last year, and he transferred there. He's nasty, and they've won. They've made bowl games at least last year. This might be 2 years in a row, but yeah.
They actually just took the dynasty.
Wow.
They were
That's
ranked
crazy.
number 15.
Wow. Dang. Teams that don't matter. Charlotte.
No. Oh my God, Charlotte sucks.
Yeah, they suck. That's what
Charlotte
I'm
is
saying.
bad. They're gonna be bad. This
Charlotte,
year.
University of Concord is awful. They're terrible. They don't even play in Charlotte. Their stadium's small, and their jerseys suck.
They might be the worst team in college football.
They might be. Them or UMass. It's insane. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Some fun times. They get one spot. Maybe they can make some noise. If they win one game, I think it's a success. Like if they beat Utah or somebody, like Liberty pulls out a win somehow.
Does Liberty play Power 14 this year?
They
what's their
have, I
schedule,
think, the
Caleb?
softest schedule.
Last year was
College
off.
football
It was
Yeah,
bad.
I mean
think
their
it's bad again
conference
this
is
year.
a joke.
They're in Conference USA, which is just FCS teams that have joined in the past 3 years.
Yeah,
So
some nice
the
donors.
road game
Yeah.
at App is scary.
Yeah.
ECU at home.
That's really it.
But they
New
play any
Mexico
Power
State on the
4
road.
teams.
No Power 4 teams.
No Power
Yeah.
4.
So they have to go undefeated to
They
make
play an FCS.
it. Yeah.
Campbell.
Wow. Go Humps.
First game of the year.
Does
Wow.
Campbell have a football stadium?
Dude, wait, are they the Camels?
I think
No
they play in
way.
They
Anyway.
are the Camels.
What?
Wait, I
Their
didn't know
logo's
that.
kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's a
sick.
camel. It's orange.
I had a
He's got
friend
really cool
who's
name.
defensive
Yeah.
end for Campbell.
I really hope they're sponsored by Camel
Terrence
cigarettes.
Harper.
Hey,
Their camel's name is Gaylord.
Really?
Yeah.
Heck
Campbell.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's crazy. They meet the parents. Gaylord
Yep.
Parker. Wow.
Personally, I think whoever wins that app Liberty game takes the spot.
He has a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a swing game
Gladys.
for sure.
His whole
Gladys and
backstory for
Gaylord.
Gaylord. So proud of him.
Maybe we'll do a Tuesday podcast of the origin story of Gaylord and Camel.
We should do a sit down.
A 5
Table
minute-
read.
5 minute
That could be like a
history lesson.
Patreon only.
Yeah.
So you subscribe to our YouTube
Just
channel.
throw a
you can get-
paywall on there.
Put some sweaters on. We'll put some wood on the fire. We'll sit down with
Talk
Gaylord.
about Gaylord the camel.
That
Yeah.
is the that's the week's like promotion.
What?
Get a 5-minute audiobook
About Gaylord the Camel.
Gaylord the Camel.
Wow.
Coming
We're
from
putting that together?
Coming from Alex in a British accent.
Wow.
Which Alex? Yes.
Very slow. You gotta talk very slow.
That's crazy that we're gonna have time for that.
We're also gonna give away a DHgate jersey.
Who's DH?
You don't know what DHgate is?
No.
That's where I got this jersey.
What is
Again,
DH?
reminder,
They're just
if
like-
you are
I'm just
above the
kidding.
age of
I'm
25
kidding, but
and
they're
wear
just
a
jerseys
Let the record show Pat's joking.
of the
Sorry.
swing
I'm
game.
glad I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Us there.
While we're on it, what's demur mean? You heard demur on TikTok?
That is popping up everywhere.
Yeah. Does anybody know what it means?
Nope.
Okay.
think it's
I
like
do
a-
know
This is a high
that-
school vocab question.
I hope it's not bad, but this podcast pretty demur. I'll say it.
I do know that I'm hot, and I think we covered all we wanted to cover today.
That's right.
Reserved,
Oh.
honest, and shy.
Wow.
Typically used of a woman.
Wow.
Oh.
That's
You just said
definitely
this
Gladys.
podcast is a woman.
Yeah, that's true.
And that
Women
about
are-
does it for
women
this
are
week.
great. We are
Yeah.
a pro women podcast.
We're
Pro
pro
kids,
women,
pro women.
pro
Just wanna let y'all
Gaylord.
know.
Pro
Producer is a
camels.
woman. Or producer is a woman.
Michaela,
Michaela.
We love you.
All right.
That's it. That's our show. Thanks
Michaela.
for tuning in. Michaela.
Michaela!
Okay.
That's it. That's
Join
all
us
we got
next
for
week.
today. Thank
Bye.
you for joining.
On the play, intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Intentional grounding, number 1. Intentional grounding. Offense, number 15.